My girlfriend's family tried to scam me out of my life savings, so I quietly cut them off and used my connections to destroy their business. I've always been cautious with money. Growing up, my dad, who worked as a government official, drilled into me the importance of being careful about who you trust. So when I started dating my ex-girlfriend a couple of years ago, I never thought her family would become the reason I had to put those lessons into practice. She was great, funny, caring, and always up for a good time. Her family, though, was a completely different story. From the start, I noticed they were the type of people who always had an angle. Her dad ran a construction business, and her mom worked as some sort of consultant, but what they really seemed good at was sizing people up to see what they could get from them. I tried to ignore it at first. After all, I was dating her, not her family, but it was impossible to avoid. The first time they asked me for something, it seemed harmless. Her dad mentioned needing a little help with his company's website. Since I work in tech, he figured I'd be the perfect guy to fix it up. I thought it would be a quick favor, just a setting here, update a plugin there. Instead, when I showed up, he handed me a massive to-do list. We're talking redesigning the entire site, setting up e-commerce, and fixing security issues. I told him straight up this isn't a quick job, it's going to take hours. He waved it off, saying it'll be good practice for you. Plus, family helps family, right? I didn't want to start drama, so I tried to compromise. I can help with some minor fixes, but anything beyond that I'd need to charge for. This is basically a freelance job. His face immediately changed, like I just insulted him. I'm giving you an opportunity here, he said. But if you don't want to help, I'll just find someone else. I shrugged it off, but it left a bad taste in my mouth. Things only got worse from there. A few months later, they invited me on a family trip to this fancy resort. At first, I declined. I wasn't in the mood to spend thousands on a vacation, but her mom insisted they'd cover the cost. She kept saying we're all family here, this is our treat. I eventually caved and went. The trip was fine, but the day after we got back, her dad handed me an itemized bill for my share. I laughed, thinking it was some kind of joke. It wasn't. We figured you could pay us back once you got your next paycheck, he said like it was the most normal thing in the world. You told me this was on you guys, I replied, trying not to lose my temper. It was temporarily, her mom chimed in. But you're working, so it's only fair. I flat out refused, and they got annoyed, calling me ungrateful. My dad should have left then, but I didn't. One weekend, her brother borrowed my car without asking. He claimed his car had broken down and he needed mine for an emergency. I only found out later that the emergency was a road trip with his friends. The car came back filthy with an empty gas tank and a scratch on the bumper. When I confronted him, all he said was relax, man, it's just a car. I made it clear they weren't getting near my stuff again, but they didn't seem to get the message. Things really blew up during a family barbecue. Her dad started pitching me on this investment opportunity. He wanted to expand his business, new trucks, better equipment, a marketing push, and he thought I'd be the perfect guy to invest. I told him I wasn't interested. It's not just about money, he said. This is about building a future with us. If you're serious about my daughter, this is the kind of commitment you need to make. I tried to stay polite. I'm not in a position to invest in something like this right now. He didn't push it further that day, but my girlfriend wouldn't drop it. She kept bringing it up, saying things like my dad doesn't ask for help often. This could be huge for us. You're being too cautious. I started feeling like I was being pressured from all sides, so I avoided going over to their house for a while. That didn't stop her dad from trying again. The next time I came over, he had a full-blown presentation waiting for me, PowerPoint slides, spreadsheets, a contract, the works. Her mom was there too, chiming in about how real men take risks for their families. I was done being nice. I already told you I'm not interested. This feels like a setup and it's making me uncomfortable. Her dad looked pissed but backed off. Still, the whole thing felt off. Then came the moment that really flipped the switch for me. I got a call from my bank about a failed login attempt on my account. At first, I thought it was a scam, but something didn't sit right. I checked my laptop's browser history and saw my banking site had been accessed the same day my girlfriend had borrowed my computer. When I confronted her, she admitted everything. They just wanted to see what kind of savings you had, she said like it wasn't a big deal. They, your parents, went into my bank account? They didn't log in, they just wanted to check if you were serious about helping out.